where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Kim Ratcliffe.
And I'm Bob Townsend. Glad you're with us today on this Tuesday morning, and starting things off with Bob Bonner in the Live Alert Center. Bob?
Yeah, Bob, we are following some breaking news information just coming into our newsroom this morning. 2 men reportedly assaulted. This happening in the city of Wilmington in the area of Racine Drive and College Acres Drive this morning. Dispatch telling us 7 men took part in this assault. This being called in about 3:30 this morning. No word of any injuries as of this hour. Wilmington police officers are on scene investigating the assault. We were also told EMS was called out to the scene there to treat injuries, but again, the extent of any injuries still unclear to us in the newsroom. As we bring more information in this morning, we will pass that along to you during Carolina in the Morning, but you can always follow breaking news via the mobile app, which is a free download. Guys.
Leanne Gregg, NBC News.
And Leanne Gregg touching on this a little bit in her story there. We are learning more this morning about the shooter. New information this morning on how he planned to carry out the attack in Orlando. Patrons said they saw that gunman at the nightclub many times before, some saying on a regular basis. This is an aerial look of Repulse nightclub overnight. They have said that some chatted with him using some of those gay dating apps online. Investigators trying to determine now if he had been visiting the club to plot the attack or if he was there for personal reasons. He had been there up to 3 years ago. Investigators have said that he did have prior knowledge of the interior of the club because he knew where to hide during the attack. Also this morning, we're learning that he tried to purchase body armor days before that attack, but was denied that. More than 100 leads have been looked at so far. That investigation in the crime scene still very active this morning. Kim.
More news for us now in the Live Alert Center.
Yeah, Bob, we are following a story that's developing this morning. Donald Trump announcing his campaign has now revoked the press credentials of the Washington Post for what he calls inaccurate coverage. This is on Donald Trump's Facebook page this morning, calling it inaccurate coverage, calling the Washington Post phony and dishonest for an article that he took exception with the headline. That headline was eventually changed by the Washington Post on their own, said that Donald Trump's campaign never contacted him. I can give you an idea of the article in question and what the headline now says. Donald Trump just making a very serious suggestion about President Obama and terrorism. Again, Trump taking exception with the original headline that linked Obama to the terrorism. So this morning he has said the Washington Post no longer welcome on his campaign.
Bonner right now in the Live Alert Center. Bob?
Yeah, Bob, we are getting some new information just into the newsroom right now. We want to show you an individual now that is in jail. Jeffrey Affolter in jail this morning, now facing more than 20 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. He's now being held under a $100,000 bond. He is scheduled to make an appearance in a New Hanover County courtroom later today. Any further information you can always find on WECT.com. Kim?
More news in the Live Alert Center.
Yeah, Bob, first Orlando, now Paris. ISIS laying claim to another act of terror. Overnight, we learned it was behind a fatal stabbing of a police captain and his companion in Paris. That captain outside of his home when he was attacked and stabbed by a person who then entered the house, took the man's companion and 3-year-old son hostage. What is being called an elite French police unit storming that home, fatally shooting the attacker. The woman found dead inside of the home. That boy, though, was unharmed. It was later found out the woman is an employee of the French Interior Ministry. But again, ISIS laying the hands of terror in Paris. Kim.
Where news comes first. This is WECT's Carolina in the Morning, streaming live on WECT.com and the WECT News app.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Townsend.
And I'm Kim Ratcliffe. And this morning, many of us still trying to process the news of the worst mass shooting in our nation's history. And
new details still continuing to come out of that nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida that left 49 victims and the shooter dead. Our Bob Bonner in the Live Alert Center right now, bringing us up to speed on the latest coming out of the investigation. Bob.
Yeah, Bob, good morning to you. This morning, the sun is starting to come up on what is known as the City Beautiful of Orlando, Florida. The Pulse nightclub, even though right now it is a very active crime scene, it is so much more peaceful than it was very early Sunday morning, and we're starting to get an idea of just the sort of terror that was taking place inside of that club. Video surfaced on the app Snapchat. In the video, it was taken by a 25-year-old woman, Amanda Alvear. you'll start to hear the gunfire ring out as Omar Mateen opened fire inside of that club. Alvear was one of the 49 people, sadly, that was killed in that shooting. This is the video that she posted to Snapchat, and it takes a while for her to actually realize that it's gunfire, that it's not part of the music that was playing. But her video gives us an idea of the pandemonium taking place inside of that club. Outside of the club, survivors starting to tell the stories about the shooter himself.
The scary part was that he didn't say anything. And what's scarier than that was that when he shot the boy that was already shot, he laughed. And as he's laughing, that's when he fires through the whole front of the stall, like just free fired, not knowing where he was shooting. And that's when I got my first wound, my first 2 wounds. At that point I feel it, the heat just go down my leg. I call my family, my phone's dying, so I had no chance of really being able to talk to them. I hear my dad's voice and I'm just like, Dad, I've been shot. He shot me in the back, and my phone turns off.
And that's how that plays out for that family. Again, we're starting to learn more about the shooter himself. I found out a little bit of information where he was leading up to this deadly shooting and putting that together. I'll have that for you from more from the Live Alert Center a little bit later. Guys.
Now again in the Live Alert Center.
Yeah, Bob, a busy morning this morning. We are following more breaking news. The last hour I mentioned a man facing charges of indecent liberties with a minor. He's not alone this morning. Another also set to appear in court this morning. Christopher Korchesny facing charges of sexual offenses with a child as well as indecent liberties with a child. He also being held in the New Hanover County Jail right now under an unknown bond this morning.
Bob Bonner standing by in the Live Alert Center. Bob.
Yeah, Kim, we're getting a better glimpse now this morning. This is the live look right now at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. This Orange Avenue, this police car facing towards downtown Orlando, and that's just blocks away from where the Orlando Regional Medical Center treated so many of those victims that day. This morning, we're getting a better idea about Omar Mateen leading up to the shootings and just where he may have been on that day. Cell phone data showing that hours before, he was at an area known as Disney Springs. It's an outdoor mall area, a place that families go to, restaurant, shopping. Security there much less than it is inside the theme park. So investigators now going through security video, talking to people about what they might have seen or heard. His family also cooperating with the investigation. You're looking at video now at the family's home where investigators are getting anything they can, electronic devices, computers, tablets, anything that information could be stored on. FBI Director James Comey saying Mateen did look at online propaganda. That's how he became radicalized. One FBI official told the Orlando Sentinel he consumed, quote, a hell of a lot of propaganda. There are indications that he visited the Pulse nightclub several times, even as much as 3 years before this attack. Investigators now trying to determine if he was learning about the club or if he was visiting for personal reasons, leading to the question, could he himself have been gay?
I don't know. He never personally or, physically made any indication while we were together of that. But he did feel very strongly about homosexuality.
And again, as all this continues to unfold at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, any new details this morning, you will get them from the Live Alert Center. Bob. Parent never wants to bury a child, but this morning, a father's voice cracking when he took the stand in the sentencing phase of a trial that centered around the death of his own daughter. Today, day 2 of the sentencing phase for Oscar Pistorius. He's currently living under house arrest after initially serving 1 year of a 5-year prison sentence for manslaughter for the shooting death of Reeva Steenkamp. Manslaughter, though, overturned last year by an appeals court which convicted Pistorius of the more serious charge of murder, now facing a minimum of 15 years. Earlier this morning, Barry Steenkamp, the father of Reeva Steenkamp, took the stand in the sentencing phase. Steenkamp saying the shooting devastated his family, and today he thinks of her all the time.
People say it takes you 2 years, 3 years, and you start feeling a little bit better about the whole thing. But every day of my life is the same. I talk to her.
Pistorius will not take the stand based on his mental capacity right now. Actually, psychiatrists saying he should be hospitalized, so they'll keep him off the stand. But that sentencing today is now in recess as they break for tea in South Africa.